Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the Pranic Healing Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Jason Yuan, and today's episode is on Founders Day, which is the founder of modern pranic healing and Arhatic yoga, Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui's birthday, which is August 15th. And I really wanted to take this opportunity on Founders Day to talk about my journey. And I know I haven't had the chance to do that, but I really wanted to take the time to explain where the podcast came from, my background, and how I think pranic healing is really the bridge to spirituality through the lens of energy healing, health, and character building. So without due time, let's get started. So my journey in pranic healing started because I had really a curiosity for energy itself, especially meditation, chakras, all these esoteric and more spiritual topics. My background was that I had a lot of chronic health issues growing up as a child, and my parents tried their best, and I was grateful to being born in a family that was open to Eastern medicine. My family is Chinese, and I did a lot of herbs and acupuncture, which was more helpful than traditional medicine at that time. And when I say traditional medicine, I mean the standard of care, which was a lot of steroids, a lot of prescriptive medicines, which really didn't treat the root cause of my illness, which got me thinking about other ways of healing the body. So long story short, I learned pranic healing through a friend that I was in school with. I was in my second year of undergrad studying. I was studying biology, and there was this person that invited me to a Twin Hearts meditation. At that time, I had a little bit of experience with meditation, and I did have some profound experiences, and I really didn't know how to explain it or, what was going on. So I was open to it. This meditation was guided by Harsha. Harsha now is a good friend of mine. I see him as a spiritual brother. He was doing his master's degree at the same time, and this was in the New Jersey Institute of Technology school. And I really was skeptical. I really didn't want to go. And for the pranic healings out there, we do something called scanning, right? Which is, how you can tell about, feeling the quality of an energy. For me, my primitive way of scanning at that time was flipping a coin. So there's this funny story how I would set the intention of flipping a coin. Heads would be yes, tails would be no. So I flipped the coin, asking and intending, should I go to this Twin Hearts meditation? And I flipped the coin the first time, it was heads. And me being my skeptical self that time, even though this was my practice, I'm like, let me do it again. So I set the intention a second time, I flipped the coin, and it was heads. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm getting lucky. So again, I flipped the coin for the third time, and it was heads. So that convinced me, in my own kind of crazy and unique way, to attend this meditation. And I was the only person there, and I instantly felt a connection to not only what Harsha was talking to me about with pranic healing, but also to Master Choa. He didn't mention Master Choa's name. He just called it GMCKS, which is short for Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui. And I, even without knowing his name, just by that acronym, I felt a connection. And I knew that there was something to this that was beyond my level of awareness and understanding at that point. So, long story short, I started the first class, January 2016, Basic Pranic Healing, which is level 1 pranic healing, with Master Marilag at the Center for Pranic Healing in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. At the time, I only lived about 15 minutes away from the center, which was a huge blessing. And in the span of about three months, I went from level 1, level 2, level 3. I then took Arhatic Yoga, which is more of the spiritual arm in pranic healing, and I attended the Arhatic Yoga retreat. So a lot of this happened very quickly, but it felt very natural. And I think that this goes in line to the theme that I wanted to talk about today, which is for Founders Day. For Founders Day, just like when we celebrate a birthday of any great individual, it's really to reflect on the body of work, service, in their life. And for Master Choa, a lot of people have this misconception that pranic healing may have, what's called like a, the energy or the devotion to a spiritual teacher might be borderlines on a cult level, right? Because that's always the negative perspective or, positive, negative way of looking at things. But, you always have a negative way of seeing something for what it is. And, I was really reluctant to embrace this aspect, to embrace Master Choa, not only as a teacher, but, what we call a guru, right? And guru is translated to dispeller of darkness. And just like how we have good and bad, light and dark, I think that in terms of for our understanding, for my understanding, right, what does Master Choa represent, not only to me, right, but in terms of pranic healing, it really helped me understand that it's not really about us, right? At the end of the day, I know that, we might be on this journey ourselves. We're on this spiritual journey ourselves. We may be on a healing journey for ourselves. But once you get to a certain point, once you get to the end, the finish line, right? You healed yourself, right? You've gotten the spiritual knowledge or enlightenment to a certain degree. There's always more. And without the teacher laying the path, without the teacher giving all of these principles, these books, and these teachings in a simple, easy, understandable way, we would be nowhere where we're at now. And the whole point of this, again, it's important to heal yourself, it's important to know your purpose in life, is really to help others, right? Is to continue these teachings, continue spreading these teachings to help mankind not only heal from suffering, right? Alleviate suffering, but to evolve, grow, in terms of their character and spiritually. So, for me, I was really a lost, shy individual, a person. I felt like I was still a 5-year-old little boy, when I was attending these classes for pranic healing and Arhatic Yoga, just because of my history with my health issues. I was afraid to speak up. I was afraid to embrace myself. I was afraid to know what I want. And only, now it's 2023, about 7 years later, I think really only until this time, I really understand, what pranic healing means to me and how it literally has transformed my life. And without the teachings, I think I would be, at a challenge to get to where I'm at now, given the amount of time. So Founders Day is really a special moment to recognize not only the life and the teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui, but really how we as pranic healers, how we as Arhatic practitioners reflect the teachings and knowledge in our everyday lives. Whether it's, talking to our friends, our family, at work, how well do we spread the teachings? How well do we be an embodiment of the teachings of Master Choa? And really, again, going back to the purpose of this podcast, the purpose of this podcast for me was always to, number one, spread the teachings, and number two, highlight how pranic healing is so universal, so easy to understand. And it really is, for me, as a doctor, as a clinician, as a person that aspires to be a teacher and spread these teachings, pranic healing or hatha yoga really is such an amazing transformative tool that anyone can learn, just like riding a bike or swimming. And the amount of progress that you can get just by starting off is amazing. And everything is simple, everything is understandable. There's a reason, there's a mechanism of action, as they say in science, for every technique that we do. So there's no questioning or misunderstanding. Everything is very simple and clear. And really, with this podcast, I want to highlight, great individuals in pranic healing to show that even normal people, we have a life, we have, of course, work, family to juggle through, but really the foundation of having harmony, peace, love, kindness, and success throughout all these areas. Pranic healing or hatha yoga is one of those practices that will, at least from my experience, carry me out, through the end of this lifetime. And I'm so passionate about sharing these teachings, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to share this with all of you because it is my passion, it is my duty, it is my purpose, and I want to share this in a way where that everyone can benefit and where everyone can understand each other and where everyone can continue to be of service, right? Use the teachings, breathe in, and apply these teachings, breathe out, help others. As Master Choa said, the core nature of the soul, which is, again, your reminder, you are not this human bag of flesh. You are a spiritual being living a human experience. The core nature of the soul is service. And when we achieve a certain attainment, a certain level of awareness that we are the soul, that we're not the body, we're not the emotions, we're not the thoughts, we are the soul naturally wants to do service. Just like a parent naturally wants to take care of its child. And that's what Master Choa has done for all of us. And that's what I hope that all of us will achieve one day and do for others. Again, this is Dr. Jason Yuan, the host of the Pranic Healing Podcast. I appreciate all the support and the listeners and all the positive feedback I have done over the past couple months. This was really a passion project for me, and I know that moving forward in the future that we will continue to grow this project and we will continue to support all the communities in pranic healing and really beyond as well, and helping people use energy healing, use spirituality practically to improve their everyday life. Atma Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much and have a happy Founders Day.